Okay, thank you. It's Deepak. Over next to me, and then you on the other side between him and Shireen Ibadi, in those two chairs. But I think you need a table in front of you. They put the table behind. Are you sure? For the water? His Holiness doesn't need a table in front of him? Yes. Well, we need to put a table. We need to move this table in front. Yeah. So His Holiness is in that chair. This chair.
Okay.
Thanks.
Robert Rideau, Roshi Joan, you know Roshi Joan very well. Rabbi Michael Lerner from San Francisco. Famous peace rabbi. Made by the children, Your Holiness. 80 different schools in Newark, 80. Ketutamba made different things, many different things for this event ahead of time. Thank you, Your Holiness. So you have your mic and everything?
Yes.
Okay, good. So the mayor, who gave a morning welcome, was exceptionally brief for the mayor. So we had time, and Dr. Ibadi gave an initial talk because since the time is so short, and she went ahead with a wonderful talk about peace and Islam and Iran and democracy and so on. And we're sorry we went ahead, but it was, we'll use the time. After Rabbi Lerner sang a song, he led us all in some peace songs. The rabbi did. And so now, if you would address the crowd, I have to ring a bell. I'm the kigu. I have to ring a bell in about 10 minutes as the monitor. But please, 10 or a little more minutes. We have a little more time, so if you wish for a little more time, please go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Certainly, once more this kind of meeting, I am very, very happy, very happy. And then particularly, this gives me sort of opportunity, reunion, and then some other. And particularly these two Nobel laureate female. So, since many occasions, you see, we together, and I notice these two ladies are really, I think, dedicated about their own principle, and sometimes Judy quite blunt, quite frank. That I love. That's very important. Our gathering, our talk, not just some mere sort of ceremony. We are trying to find the causes of this problem, how to bring the real peace, real compassionate society. So this is a serious matter. So in such matter, we have to talk frankly. So I appreciate our Nobel laureates' contribution in this field. So then, my part, nothing special. As you know, the compassion is my own daily practice. And through that way, I gain, I think, very sort of benefit to myself. I often see telling when some people, oh, you never change your face. You still looks sort of same 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Then I have nothing which is special sort of also the medicine or nothing. Or very sort of deep spiritual experiences which can control your sort of body element. I haven't reached that kind of sort of stage. But simply, as soon as I wake up, I remember about Buddha as a Buddhist monk, then reflect compassion, warm-heartedness, and myself dedicated well-being of other, and some kind of pledge, or rest of the day, directly or indirectly, I should be some useful to other. That's all. So therefore, according to my own experience, and also I notice, you see, some practitioner, not only Buddhists, but also some Christians, some Muslims, some Hindus, some Jews, who really dedicated their life, well-being of others. These people experience tremendous sort of inner strength, tremendous sort of satisfaction. So, and then scientific research, through scientific research, they began to feel that for good health, the calm mind is very crucial. They are not talking about faith. Also, they are not sort of also they believe Kasota, those Egyptian, not through superstition, but through actually sort of experiment, research. They then found calm mind, very good for our health. Then no question, individual, family member, one more compassionate mind, always talking truth, honestly, sincerely, then in the atmosphere of that family automatically become very easy, happy. If some member of the family always telling lie and hypocritical way, or maybe too polite, sometimes you see create some suspicion. I think one example, I think I want to tell Judy, one occasion I think in Germany, as you know, I always, whenever I met someone, I saw it face to face, I always smile. So one day, from my car, I'm passing through one young lady. So as usual, I smile. Then young lady, I think, got more suspicion. So look, why this person? You see, this strange person, you see, smile at me. So like that, you see, my smile, I think, appears some different sort of meaning, like that. So sometimes smile also, you see, creates some suspicion or some sort of uncomfortable feeling. So in any way, in the family, see, little sort of also the jealousy or little sort of extreme sense of competition within the family member, the family, no matter how rich, how powerful, never get real peace, real happiness. Even poor people, economically poor, but surrounded people to whom we have full trust. Whenever you face some problem, immediately tell them my problem and share them with them. Very happy. So that's the reality. So that education, knowledge here, or money, richness, or powerful position will not bring that. That brings only warm-heartedness. Warm-heartedness there. You have no sort of feeling of something kasota, or some distance from other. So as a result, you open your own sort of mental attitude, totally open. And with that, always tell truth, honesty, frank. So that brings trust. Trust brings friendship. Friendship brings happy moment, happy sort of life. So, irrespective whether religious believer or non-believer, even anti-religious people, okay, they believe religion is something bad, something sort of, I think, instrument for exploitation. Okay, carry anti-religious activities, but should be calm-minded person. Then their anti-religious activities can be more realistic. Otherwise, you see, too much anger, too much sort of fear, your action will not be realistic action. That's another sort of, I think, aspect. Any goal, anything, even if it's harming to other, our approach, our method should be realistic. Through realistic approach, the goal, what you want, can achieve. Unrealistic method will not bring your goal. So in order to carry realistic sort of approach, you must know the reality fully. In order to know the reality fully, you must look from various angles, more holistic way, and must be objectively looked. There also, warm-heartedness have some sort of implication, some role. More open-minded here, calm mind, the compassionate mind, your whole mental state remain then calm. From calm mind, investigate, then can be objective. Too much sort of emotion, attachment, or anger, fear, there. At that kind of mental state, you can't investigate objectively. So, your conclusion through that way, wrong conclusion. So, I think you can consider me as a small Buddhist psychologist today.